Hello, welcome to Drawing Conclusions. I'm Josh.
And I'm Jessica.
Today we're talking Daredevil Season 3. Ooh.
Is this that show about Evel Knievel?
It is not about Evel Knievel.
Oh, what's it about?
This is the Marvel Comics superhero Daredevil, the Man Without Fear.
Oh.
Yeah,
I didn't know
that's what the thing in the comic books was.
I didn't know
the Man Without Fear.
Tagline.
Well, you kind of have to be that way when you're a blind lawyer running through New York's buildings and skyscape or cityscape, whatever.
A blind lawyer is impressive, but not as impressive as a caveman lawyer.
No, definitely not as impressive.
Okay, so season 3 of Daredevil.
Yes.
Season 1 we watched together when it first came out.
Right.
Loved it.
Loved it.
Yeah. Season
really
2 you watched.
It was really good. A little uneven toward the second half of the season, but the Frank Castle / Punisher story arc was really good.
Season 2 I didn't watch because
very violent.
It was so violent. Like season 1 was violent, kind of hard for me to watch. And then season 2 was even more violent, and I was like, yep, I'm out. I can't.
They kicked it up a notch.
I can't handle hand-to-hand combat, blood everywhere.
Well, so that one had a lot more shootings.
Right, yeah. And, well, you know what? Shootings are not as hard for me to take as watching people just beat each other up. That's just really...
Yeah, there were a lot of beatdowns, too.
Yeah. So season 3, you assured me, was not as violent as season 2.
Yeah.
And it's got Vincent D'Onofrio back as Kingpin.
Yep.
And I love Vincent D'Onofrio in general, and I thought he was excellent in season 1 of Daredevil. And so I'm giving it a shot.
Right.
Okay, so what do you think of season 3 of Daredevil so far?
Well, having watched the whole thing already, I really liked it. I think it's my favorite season so far. I think it's pushed the characters in new directions, and then bringing back Vincent D'Onofrio as Kingpin, Wilson Fisk, was just fantastic. I mean, the web within webs of his manipulations and machinations is so cool, and he brings it off so nicely. It is fantastic.
I am really enjoying Charlie Cox's performance as Matt Murdock this season, and just finding a lot of layers in his performance. And I think that he's just been handling so well the evolution of the character, and what he's going through post. What was that? Defenders.
Yeah, so season 3 takes place where the Defenders leaves off. If you bothered to watch that, it was okay. This is much better.
Yeah. And I love his relationship with the nun.
Yeah.
When he's hurt and he's recovering in the church,
right.
And I can't remember the nun's name, but she's taking care of him. And
yeah.
Do we know her name? She says I always call her sister. I don't know. Anyway, she's fantastic.
Yeah.
And that whole dynamic between the two of them, I think, is really interesting. And I like that this comic book grapples with issues that sometimes a lot of shows are kind of afraid to tackle. Issues about God and religion, and if God exists, why does he allow bad things to happen? And
right.
Kind of feeling like sometimes maybe God is mean or doesn't really care about you, or is a vengeful God and things like that, and then the nun's perspective on it. I just think that and just kind of how she doesn't get in these deep philosophical conversations with it. She just kind of is like, no.
Yeah, right?
Let me be very short and to the point and direct about this.
She's really dishing out the tough love.
Right, and we're just going to cut the crap.
Yeah, Sister Maggie. That's who that is, that's right. Played by Joanne Whaley. I agree, she was great. They'd have a really great chemistry throughout, and I won't give any spoilers as to anything going on, what comes on between the two of them during the season.
That's Joanne Whaley?
It is.
What the? I had no idea.
Okay.
She's in one of my favorite movies of all time, Willow.
Yeah, right.
I love her. Anyway, so no wonder she's fabulous.
Right.
Yeah.
There's other great performances as well, not just Vincent D'Onofrio and Charlie Cox and of course Joanne Whaley, but they introduce Agent Poindexter, played by... Who was that? Wilson Bethel. I had never seen him in anything that I can recall.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I don't think I've ever actually watched him anything he started since before this one.
Right.
And his character, just let me tell you, is fantastic. I think just the way that they portray this character and who he becomes throughout the series is really fascinating.
Yeah.
And just it's really awesome and really well handled. I think the characters in this season, apart from the other two, are probably handled better than
in previous seasons.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say before I botched it badly.
But that's why I am here.
That is why you're here.
I am here to rescue
My brain
you.
is not for smart making
right.
or talking.
That's what. So yeah, I agree. Agent Poindexter Bullseye.
Yep.
This new villain that they introduced in this
right.
season. I'm really liking how they're writing the character and how they are introducing the different pieces of who he is, and just kind of, at first you just think he's kind of this tough, maybe doesn't always play by the rules FBI agent, and then like how you first start getting indications that he's a bit off,
yes.
I think is really interesting.
Well, they really peel the layers of the onion.
Right.
I mean, just layer after layer after layer.
Yeah. And like you said,
and he does a great job.
How Wilson Fisk just keeps playing every situation and every person like a fiddle,
Oh, it's great, and it's so good, and D'Onofrio pulling it off, it's so good.
Yeah,
it really is good.
I have to say it's very intelligent. It's a very intelligent show.
Yeah,
and it's a very intelligent show about superhero show, and it's most people don't associate this type of drama with comic book movies, and a lot of times, or comic book shows, a lot of times when they try to do the more dramatic things,
it comes off kind of hammy.
Yeah, it does, and it doesn't quite work, or it's like, it doesn't seem to match the material. The tone seems off. Like I think DC struggled with that. Some, I mean, not
outside of the Dark Knight trilogy.
Right, the Dark Knight trilogy is okay, but outside of that, I think they struggle with it. Yeah. And so much of it, I think, is just finding the right script, but also the right characters, like that you can go in a serious route with, and then putting them in the right situations. And I just think this whole Hell's Kitchen story and the corruption and of course the legal system and politics and all the stuff that comes into play is really a perfect setting for this
it's
kind
really,
of dramatic
right. I think it's just fertile ground, and they really do a great job with it.
Yeah.
They really do. So of this season, what have you liked? What's been your favorite things?
I think
pretty well covered it.
I think pretty well covered it. I mean,
I think so.
It's great. So I'm only 5 episodes in so far. And in fact, I was about to watch episode 6, and Josh was like, hey, let's go record our audio. And I was like, dang it. And I kicked the dirt because we
have dirt on our floor.
We live in a house with dirt floors. That's the secret that we've been hiding from our YouTube audience.
It's a shanty.
But great Wi-Fi here. Anyway, so
yes.
But I mean, I was a little disappointed to have to come record this because I really want to see what's going to happen next.
Yeah.
And I fight sleep. We usually watch this stuff after the kids go to sleep, but I'm like fighting going to sleep even though I have work the next day because I want to see what's happening. So I'm definitely hooked. Yeah. I felt like the first couple of episodes were kind of a slow burn.
Yes.
They were laying the groundwork for what was going to happen this season, and kind of the first episode in particular is really just about setting up where Matt is right now as a person, like what he's about.
Right.
And episode 2 still is doing that too.
Right, but it's starting to pick up the pace a little bit. But by episode 3, things have really gotten rolling.
Yeah. Oh, and the other thing I like about this season is the addition of Agent Nadeem, the FBI, another FBI agent, and I think that he's excellent, and I enjoy his character, and I'm interested to see where the stuff with him is going to go, because he's this good man who, I mean, by all appearances, seems to be a good man, but not a fan of Matt Murdock and his friends, Foggy and Karen. So right now in the story, so I'd be interested to see how that all plays out through the rest of the season. Yep. And he's being played by Wilson Fisk, right?
Yeah.
And so that's been interesting to watch. And to see if he will start to figure out that that's what's happening.
Yes. You will start to see what happens.
Yeah. Anything else that you want to share about this season that you've liked?
I don't know. There's so many things to recommend this season. It's not as violent as previous seasons. I mean, it's really, season 2 really set the bar kind of high for me. Anyway.
Yeah.
But I like the character build-ups. I like the development of the characters and the story and the way that they've handled this material and just really, I think, bringing out a really nice product. And I don't know, I'm having a great time watching it.
Yeah.
I think it's awesome.
So it is still violent for sure.
Yes.
And it's pretty intense. And there are times when I have had to close my eyes and not watch it because it's a level of violence that I'm just not comfortable with.
Yeah, there was one scene where somebody gets stabbed repeatedly. Okay. It's pretty grisly.
But I have to say that what I appreciate about this show is at least in this season, and I felt like in season 1 too, the violence is, while there's a lot of it, it's not necessarily gratuitous. It's an important part of the story.
Sure.
And it's actually an important part of kind of the philosophical issues that Matt deals with.
Yeah.
And
fighting and struggling.
It's a big part of who Wilson Fisk is, obviously. I mean, his brutality is something else.
Yeah, he's rough.
Yeah, so it's not just like, oh, we're being violent for violence sake and just being gross and, whatever.
Yeah, it's not like a big splatterfest, shoot 'em up kind of thing. Stuff has its place and has its reason.
There's a purpose behind it.
Right.
Yeah.
And although they will say they did have one scene where he has to escape the prison. Matt Murdock is escaping prison. There was like an 11-minute long cut.
Yeah.
And it was really cool.
Right.
Really good stuff.
Do you have a star rating for this season of Daredevil?
I don't know. I don't know if it's been perfect, but probably 4.5 stars out of 5.
Yeah.
I think it's really good TV.
Yeah.
Very compelling, really dramatic, and in a good way, not just like sappy, over the top nonsense.
Right.
It's really purposeful, and I think it's cool.
So far, having not seen the entire season, but just where I am right now in the season, I would have to agree with that assessment. 4.5 seems pretty right on for me. It's definitely better than most things that you could watch on TV or most Netflix original show. I mean, the vast majority of Netflix original shows and movies and stuff that we've seen. It's really good.
Yeah, certainly better. I like it better than the other Marvel entries on Netflix.
Yeah.
By far.
Most of which we haven't even been able to finish watching.
No, I finished the first season of Iron Fist, and I thought,
well, that was just terrible.
It was too long, and that guy was not great.
Just the way that character was written, and the way.
I'm Danny Rand. I'm legendary Iron Fist and defender of Kunlun. You say that like 20 times an episode, guy. Shut up.
Yeah, he was a little whiny.
Yeah, he was.
Can't really get behind that.
No. Anyway, so for drawing conclusions, this is Josh.
I'm Jessica. Don't forget to like,
share,
comment,
and subscribe.
And check us out on Patreon. The link's down below.
Yes. Thank you.
Bye.